So they know that they don't have to pay you any amount of real money until that letter comes from Sam and Ash saying, we represent this client and we are going to demand on his or her behalf that you do them right. So everyone who gets rear-ended, is in an auto accident, asks, is the insurance company going to treat me fairly? And I think it's because most people instinctively want to do the right thing, go to the insurance company, go palms up, and say, look, this is what's wrong. This is what happened to me. These are my injuries. And they in turn expect that level of fairness and that level of transparency from the other side. Is that true? Is that how it works?
No. And it's frankly, I don't even know if it's instinct. It's these insurance companies, they spend billions of dollars every year creating these images of being friendly and being a neighbor and someone that would treat you fairly in such a situation, but that's not what they do. So clients expect that same level of fairness, but they don't get it. And one of the examples, and I always use to explain this, is the first thing you do when you open that insurance claim is the insurance company sends you a letter asking you to release all of your health information. And they do it under this guise of, you sign this document, we're going to do all the heavy lifting for you. We're going to go get all of your medical records. We're going to figure out your injuries. But that's not what they do.
No, they go in and they're looking for things that they can use against you. They're looking, oh, look, he slipped off a ladder 3 years ago. We found this in his hospital records. And so the injury that this victim has now must be attributable to that event that occurred 3 years ago. They'll also find things, and this is, by the way, this is gospel truth. They will find things like a cancer diagnosis. And they will look at that and go, if we can drag this case out long enough, the claimant will die. And I tell you that this is how they operate. So, we never recommend people sign over an unlimited health release of information to essentially what is an adversarial party. And that it's that fact that all that advertising with the cute commercials and everything creates a likability and a trust in insurance companies that simply isn't there. They profit from collecting premiums and then paying out as few claims as possible. It's simple economics. It is in their best interest to not pay out on your claim. So their objective, the adjuster that calls you, their entire objective is to not pay you, or to dismiss your claim with as little money as possible.
Another thing, someone asked me recently, doesn't hiring a lawyer make the process contentious and combative? Because humans are inherently, they just want a fair, easy process that isn't contentious. And my response simply is, well, the insurance company, they've got a lawyer. Just because you're dealing with an adjuster doesn't mean they don't have a giant legal team of in-house attorneys that are supporting them and giving them opinions. So you need to protect yourself and do the smart thing and bring your own lawyer into the conversation to do that heavy lifting for you. You want someone to negotiate and do that work for you.
And I think there's also something to be said for having a lawyer negotiate on your behalf, just so that you're not speaking in the first person, that you're not the one calling up the insurance company and saying, hey, this happened to me. I feel this. I lost this. It's better to have us call on your behalf and explain to them about you, because we're a third party and we can talk about you. Actually, to that insurance company, we know how to explain injuries. We know how to present your damages in a way that creates value. And it's not about exaggerating your claim. It's about presenting it in the most favorable light, knowing what to emphasize, knowing what to bring forward to their attention, and knowing how to put together the entire package. That's another thing. If you begin talking to the insurance company and you're talking to them on day 2, 3, 4, 5 of your post-accident, what problem does that create?
Well, your injuries, most people don't know what their injuries are right after an accident. And the other thing is they'll just string you along. Well, send me that record when you get it. Send me that record when you get it. And now you're going on this fishing expedition to do all the work for them and to help them pay you less. And so Sam's right. You need to hire a lawyer to do all of that legwork for you, to negotiate on your behalf. And the most critical piece of advice I can give you is to not wait. The sooner we're talking to the insurance company for you, the better. It means there's a less chance for you to tell them something that they can use against you.
Yeah, I also think it's very important to develop and figure out what's wrong with you, right? I mean, a lot of times the kind of pain that you feel after a rear end accident, a bruise will feel very similar to a herniated disc. And you don't know the extent of your injury until you've seen all the right doctors, until you've had all the right tests. Figuring out the extent of your injuries, getting those injuries treated, getting you healed to a place where you at least know what it's going to take to return you back to where you were before the accident is critical. And the number one mistake that people make when they represent themselves and they don't hire a lawyer is they settle too soon, because at the insurance company, they want to write you a check. They want to write you a $1,000, $1,200 check, get you on your way, done. But what you don't realize is that you potentially have a $100,000 injury, and your road to recovering fully and healing fully and getting beyond your loss is going to cost money, and it's going to cost copays, and it's going to cost time, all of which you deserve to be compensated for. It's really important not to make a mistake on that.
Well, and one thing, if you're in Nevada and you have signed a release and accepted a settlement check from the adjuster in that early phase, it's not too late. Our state has protected claimants, and they've made a way that you can potentially unwind that settlement if you found out after that your injuries are worse, your bills are higher than you originally expected. So call us. If you're one of those people that did sign a release early on and accept an amount of money, there's maybe still something we can do to help you.
And the last, I think, important point too is and again, this is a peek behind the curtain of how this works. The insurance companies treat unrepresented claimants differently than represented clients. And what I mean by that is, if you go to the insurance company and you say to them, hey, I'm not going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to be palms up. Work with me. Let's just be fair. They assign you to a frontline entry-level adjuster. What you get is the Frost-Soft JV team. Once you retain a lawyer, you get assigned to a different adjuster. And the critical difference between the first adjuster and that second adjuster is that the second adjuster has more money to give. That adjuster is more senior. That adjuster gets more in reserves, in money, in company money to give out on claims. So what I see very typically is that these adjusters that are work with unrepresented clients who are just going at it on their own, doing it themselves, they have very limited amounts of money that they can hand out, usually in the low hundreds, if not maybe thousands of dollars. And so I see a lot of times, and people come to us to look to unwind settlements, $800, $1,200, $1,500 getting paid out on claims that are actually worth $100, $150, $250,000. And that's disturbing, but no matter how good you are, you can never get a $100,000 offer from an adjuster who is limited, whose ceiling is maybe $2,500. And so really the insurance company knows that they don't have to worry about paying you the right amount of money until you take that step and hire a lawyer. Because what threat are you to them? The reality is that until you hire a lawyer, they know the worst thing that you can do is go to small claims court, which, $6,500, $7,500. So they know that they don't have to pay you any amount of real money until that letter comes from Sam and Ash saying, we represent this client and we are going to demand on his or her behalf that you do them right. And it's not until that letter comes that the insurance company goes, oh, okay, we have to increase the limit. We have to give it to a more senior person. We have to have somebody handle this that knows what to do and also who has more authority to offer more money.